We started the program because we believed that something magical could happen between children and the elders, that the acceptance and the affirmation and the encouragement that the elders could supply to the children would unleash learning, imagination, opportunities. But we also felt simultaneously that the children's acceptance and encouragement and affirmation of the elders could provide new growth and could rejuvenate the spirit and the will of people that lived here at Windsor Place. And we have seen that occur this year beyond our wildest imagination.
The magical medicine of kindergartners and elders put together in the same environment, I think, stems from the energy that's created. You know, kindergartners have that energy of learning and anticipating, and they're wide open. They have no prejudices. They have no negative to anything in life at that point. And that energy just seems to flow into the elders. The morning time is always the freshest time for our elders. They've had a night's sleep, and most of them want up, dressed, their makeup on, because they know the children are coming to school and will be coming through those doors at 10 till 8.
At the beginning of the day, when the children first arrive, at the very beginning of the year, we had to open the door for them. They weren't old enough or tall enough to hit the button. And so we got that pleasure of letting them in the door every day. And at the beginning, we would always make a reminder, make sure you wave to your friends. And we try to give some kind of social skills to give eye contact, to wave to their friends, but their friends being the grandparents, the residents here. Or sometimes we give the suggestion, make sure that you speak to somebody as you walk by. After they come into the room for a few minutes, we go back out and we do a meet and greet in the breakfast room. While the residents are eating breakfast, we go through and we work on things again, calling people by name, trying to remember people's names, and remembering that everyone likes to be called by their name, no matter what age they are. We just do different things. We try to get as many teachable moments into these little time periods as we can. And as they sing to the residents during the meet and greet time, sometimes we take requests from the residents on the songs that they would like to have. We have one standard song, but then we go from there. And we've seen some really good benefits from the residents at that point, but we've also seen some benefits from the children. They're beginning to pay more attention to people in their egocentric world. They've learned to kind of look out from beyond themselves to other people.
And this is a very exciting time, because here's where one of my very special things that's happened in the program takes place, and that's with Grandpa Raymond. Grandpa Raymond was just all but lethargic when this program began. And now, as the children turn that corner, no matter where he's at, whether he's eating breakfast or trying to go back to sleep, he becomes alert, those shoulders go up. And I'll never forget the first day that the children said, "Can we sing a song to you?" And they let him choose it. And his song was, "You Are My Sunshine." So every morning that's become something that they do with Grandpa Raymond. They sing and he sings with them, "You Are My Sunshine."
And I know that that is something that Raymond would not have been able to do when it was just us and him. The kids have made that difference in his life.
Then as the children pass through the dining room, they all go back to the classroom, speak to all of the grandmas and grandpas on their way by. And as they go back to the classroom, one student each day has the job of ringing the old-fashioned school bell outside the school. And I many times hear the residents say, "School's in session now." That's a sound they remember from years ago.
A little bit later in the morning, they have an exercise time with the grandmas and the grandpas. Very popular time of the day for both. This is something that went on way before the kindergarten classroom was here. We've just joined them. And when we joined them, we think, again, some benefits have happened. We try to put as many things during that time period as we can. We try to talk about some things again. What are we going to do if someone gives you a smile? Give them a smile back. And now we've turned that around. Even if someone doesn't give you a wave or a smile, give them one first. And they exercise then with the residents, and we feel that the residents' movement is better, that they are more inspired to move because of the energy. And as you can guess, when you put a room full of kindergartners, you have energy.
Exercising is not one of those areas where you're going to get a lot of participation, especially when you have the aches and the pains. You're not going to want to move certain parts of your body. And that's what we had facing us before the children came. And we have doubled and sometimes tripled in our attendance since the children have been on site.
And it's not only the numbers that have improved, but I recall a physical therapist coming to me one day and she said, you know, this just gets me. She said, some of these people can only raise their arms so high in the air or take their legs and extend them out so far, but with the children, they've got their arms straight up in the air, they've got their legs out, they're marching when the children are marching. And I said, it's that medicine. It's that magic medicine that kindergartners bring to their world.
When we have an exercise, I go right along with them, and it helps me and it helps them.
It's helped in leadership skills as well. At the beginning, we had some children that were shy, of course. Some were shy, some didn't have those tendencies. But even those that were fairly shy about shaking people's hands or going over and doing the twist with them and getting them moving a little bit, now they just seem to be uninhibited. When we have special days, the 100th day of school, Kansas Day, we have special days a lot in kindergarten, so it happens quite often. We set up what we call stations in the room, and we have a grandma at each station, and as well as the kindergartners, and they do craft projects, art projects, writing projects, and they do that interactively. If they're doing some kind of a writing project or a craft project where they're cutting or coloring or gluing, and if the grandparent is doing that with them, that develops the grandparent skill or keeps those skills developed just as it develops the kindergartner skills.
It made me feel useful.
They really validate themselves and they're at the same place with their skills. The elders have lost them because of aging and disease processes, and the children are learning them. And it was always very difficult before this program to be able to do activities and make meaningful activities for elders without getting childish things involved. So that's again where that crossover and that magic medicine happens.
After our exercise time, we do something called Grandma and Grandpa reading. That's a wonderful, wonderful time in our day. If we did nothing else with the grandparents but that, it would still be worth it to have that time with them. I work with a group in the room. Mrs. Holman works with the group in the room, and the third group goes across the hall for Grandma and Grandpa reading.
The reading program has been a very successful part of the program. And the first semester, of course, the children were not reading, so the elders read to them.
And we taught them, you know, to touch the word and say the word. To touch it and word, you know, eye contact.
And that was the time of the program that I think the cuddliness and the acceptance of one another took place. They got to know each other really well during that period of time.
I had two boys and I lost them both. And they don't take the place of my boys, but they certainly do help. I think that's why I like it so much. I just love it.
For instance, when we went to the farm, the books that the grandmas and grandpas read to them were about farms. And many of the residents grew up on the farm, and so they were able to give them experiences that our kids wouldn't have had about, not only about farms, but also about how things used to be in the old days.
They'd have me tell them I was a country girl, and I went to country school. I'd tell them all about that. I'd walk in the snow. Oh, Grandma Diane, did you walk in the snow? Oh, yes, and I had a little brown bag of my food.
And we need that mentoring. We need grandparents to be there and tell stories of history, which the children love, by the way. Anytime there's an historical story, Lily comes home and says, "Did you know? Did you know? Did you know?" Yeah, but that's awesome that you know now.
Second semester, the children were able to read to the elders, and then I saw how the elders were really excited about what they had gotten from the program. They were telling me daily about, oh, I'm so glad I volunteered for this program. I really feel that I've made a difference in that child's life. Look how they're reading.
I feel like they've learned a lot from me, and I know I have learned from them.
Well, the most important thing, I think, is the close association. And I don't have a lot of grandkids, a couple here and a couple there. And to have all them kids just come in and pile on you and love you and you teach them, you can't beat it. Can't cry.
Well, this program personally, it's really been a life changer. I really do believe that it's had a huge impact on my life. I've heard the very same comment from families, from moms and from dads that said, one mom said the other day that she told someone in the community that this program won't just change your child, it will change your family.
Matthew's helped me to be more comfortable in the nursing home. That was probably one of the things that I was unsure about, was just my own comfort level. It can be a little intimidating, I think, for most people to come into a nursing home. You see things that sometimes make you uncomfortable, and you know, it just can be a little unsettling, I guess. And he's really taught me that everyone, you know, people are people.
Love and acceptance is taught here every single day. There's a value for everyone, no matter how small or how old, how many in-betweens, how many disabilities you have. Everybody sees each other as an equal here, and it's amazing. And I think that they'll take that out into the community and view people differently because of the experiences they've had here.
There's been a role change for older adults in this nursing home. Now everybody in the nursing home is called grandma or grandpa. And so in a time of a person's life, especially at a nursing home, when you're losing roles and you suffer all of these losses, these people here are actually gaining a role.
If I could say one thing that I think the children and the elders are getting out of it is, both of them, a better quality of life. The quality of life for the elder says, I'm back in the community, I'm back to living, I'm back to volunteering, I'm back to doing all of those things. And for the children, I have no doubt in my mind that we have graduated the first classroom that will be advocates for the elderly, will know how to be advocates for others that are less fortunate, and better caregivers for their families, and just know how to communicate and be a part of the community.
When I went into the business in 1968, the average age was 72 years in a nursing home. It's now plus 90. Now, if you're going to be able to add a quality of life, which we love to talk about, to a 91-year-old or a 95-year-old, it can't be 3 meals a day and bingo on Thursdays. It has to be more than that. And this is kind of one of those steps toward more than that.
And we believe that this program uniquely can go places that other care activities, other care tasks can't, in touching the life of a frail elder.
So it's important that we have success in this and that we can show it's worth the risk. The reward really is there if you'll take the risk.
And so I think for many of the frail elderly in this nation, this program, if replicated in communities throughout our country, has a chance to change how long-term care is done. And it gives us a chance as a people to honor to the very last day the worthiness of frail elders.
Oh, if they get the opportunity to do it, they shouldn't pass it up. It's given me a whole new life.